response to the YouTube video where Steve, the electrician, talks about electrical things around pools, the question is, do grounding lugs have to be copper?
So I think what you would want to do is look at the URL listing for the grounding lug or the bonding lug. What the code does say is that it has to be direct burial, and it has to have stainless versus any other metal used as the screw component. So if you have a grounding lug, that's typically, if it's a bonding lug that's bonding to rebar, that technically is brass, I believe, bronze or brass. I believe that's brass with a stainless nut and bolt or stainless bolt. If you're talking about the we call them beaver tails, and that's where you're going to bond like a pool steel from a vinyl liner pool. You're going to hit the bond wire with that. Those typically are copper, although I have seen them as aluminum. What I would recommend though is that you check your local code and see specifically what is required for you. But typically what an inspector is looking for, if it's something he hasn't seen, is he's going to look for an imprint on the unit itself to see that it's rated for direct burial. And an awful lot of times they're not rated for direct burial. And so if you look at some of those that you'll find on the pool equipment, when you get a pump and it has a bonding lug on it, that bonding lug is probably not rated for direct burial underground. It's built different than what we call a beaver tail, which is a really heavy piece that gets bolted down, screwed down, however, depending on what we're doing. So always go to the local code first, because there's a lot of different things available. Not all inspectors like certain things and not other things. So you really need to check local code first. And then certainly look on each of the pieces that you're using and see what the listings are, and do a little research on those listings and make sure that they're following that local code for the electrical.